My name is Matthew Sheldon. I'm the head of the curatorial team at the National Museum of the Royal Navy in Portsmouth. And the kind of good news we've had is we've had a round one pass from the Heritage Lottery Fund for our very exciting project, which aims to tell the story of the Royal Navy and its people in the 20th and 21st centuries. It's a project we've been waiting a very long time to do. This is our third application to HLF, but we're absolutely delighted that they've supported it. And what we aim to do with it is to create, convert the whole new ground floor of one of our Georgian storehouses, Storehouse 10, and create a kind of large suite, about 900 metres of exhibition space, which is going to do exactly what it says on the tin. It's going to tell that story of the Royal Navy and its people in what's been a very dramatic period since 1900. So tell the story of the Royal Navy through the First, Second World Wars, but also a lot of the other things that people don't know that the Navy does. So it's a very exciting time for us. Yeah.
Fantastic. Have you got any plans that you can show us?
I mean, as I say, we are at the stage where now with the HLF we start to do the detailed design. But as part of the application we worked up some ideas for what the exhibitions are actually going to look like. So we have some of the plans here, which have been really fun to generate, but it's difficult. It's a complex story, the Navy in the 20th, 21st century, and it's always a case with exhibitions. What do you want to focus on? You can't say everything. What level of detail do you want to do? And these proposals are a kind of set out of our initial thinking. Throughout the exhibitions, one thing we're really keen to do is have a very strong focus on people and on people's stories. So our aim at the minute is to actually, quite exciting, is to link two buildings together with a kind of glass link that we have here, and that's going to link our Sailing Navy gallery, which people will flow out of, and then they'll start a kind of chronological journey and come into the 20th century. And we're very keen that the first thing people do as they come in is meet some of the people of the 20th century. So we're going to use their words, their voices, images, film of them to straight away introduce visitors to the people who've made the 20th century story. And then really it's been about planning what the big story we want to tell is, and to try and focus on the big story about the Navy's impact over that period, the effect it's had on the people who've served, and the effect it's had on their families and communities, and the impact it's had on people all around the world. Because we really believe it's a big story here. We're based in Portsmouth, but we think it's a case of the Navy going out from here influencing the whole country, the whole world. And it's a chance for us to do some new things. We're really keen to develop an exciting new kind of immersive film that people will sit in effectively in a kind of theatre and find out about the experience of the Navy in war and peace in that period. It's a chance for us to put lots of new things on display that we've kind of never had on exhibition before. People love kind of coming and seeing them in our stores, but actually here's a chance to get them on public display, and also get things on loan from other institutions that are similarly not on display. So we've got some really strong themes that we're going to focus on. The Navy's Navy life, so actually the conditions people serve in. The Navy in war and peace, exactly what has the Navy done in that period. We want to have some fun though as well. We want to look at the Navy in society and look at Navy days and the Navy on film, the Navy's impact on fashion and music. A really kind of colourful section with that. We want to have something that looks at how the technology of the Navy has changed, but to not do it as a kind of dry technological history, to do it as something that's a bit more interactive, that gets people to think and investigate and think about the science behind some of those changes. In fact, we've probably got some pictures which I'll just kind of move to show you. As part of the process, we've kind of done these visualizations of how things might look. And on the kind of technology side, we want to make the point that things happen below the surface. So we've got an idea for a very exciting kind of glass floor where you'll be able to look down and see some of the technologies like the sonar, like torpedoes, and learn about those. We'll have a session that looks about what happens on the surface. So this is an idea for a ship's hull and how do ships try and hide and avoid attack. So we'll have a section on the surface, and then we're also going to use this as a lovely high part of the building, look at what happens in the air. And those are kind of three technologies that have really combined and changed in this period. So I think that's going to be something really different and really fun. So there are lots of kind of ideas of how we're going to make the exhibitions fun, accessible, but still tell what can be quite a serious story. But then we also want to kind of look forward a bit, because I think one of the unique things about the Historic Dockyard is it's based within a working naval base. And you walk in here, you see the Type 45s, you see Ark Royal. If it's in the news and it's in the Navy, it's probably here in Portsmouth. So we really want to make some links between, well, the Navy carries out a role now. Did it do the same sort of thing in the past? How has it changed? And we want to try and get people to think about what the Navy is for going forward and how it might change. It's been a period of great change that they'll have seen in the exhibition, but it's going to change again, and think ahead, what might that change be? And think about that just before you leave and see actually this Navy as you're visiting the dockyard. So it's a really kind of exciting time for us, a lot of work to do in development, and it is leading us to a second HLF application, a round 2 application, we hope in June next year, which, if we're successful with that, and we sincerely believe we will be, that would unlock the rest of the HLF money. And up to June we'll be adding a lot more detail to these plans, and I hope we'll kind of find other ways of sharing them, perhaps through the website or social media like this, and we can start to get kind of feedback from people on the plans.